In its operational update earlier today, Tiger Brands announced that it will pay the medical expenses for some of the victims, regardless of the fact that liability has not yet been determined. The outbreak affected about 1,000 people, with more than 200 deaths suspected to have resulted from the outbreak. Tiger Brands says its legal representatives are engaging on measures to arrive at a speedier resolution of the class action overall. Alex Spoor of Richard Spoor Incorporated says their clients are desperate for relief, and this will go a long way.
I want to read this as the first time that this board at Tiger Brands is really acknowledging something has to happen. They must be acknowledging that it's unacceptable to leave people in this position. And we look forward to engaging with Tiger Brands on this and seeing if the parties can come closer together to really find ultimate settlement for these clients, these families who are waiting and have had their whole lives kept in abeyance now for 6 years, waiting for Tiger Brands to account.
Mark Haywood, a social justice activist, notes that this announcement by Tiger Brand was made on the back of announcing an increase in headline earnings per share of between 3 and 5% for the full year to end September. Headline earnings per share is a measure of profit.
There is in fact not an agreement at this moment on meeting urgent medical needs, as all they've done is tender that they're willing to reach an agreement. So Tiger Brands has to go further than this. What we want is an urgent and an immediate agreement to cover the costs of people's medical needs. We want a settlement that compensates the close to 1,000 people who were harmed and made sick by Tiger Brands. We want an unambiguous admission by them of liability, because the evidence is irrefutable that connects their factory to the people who got sick and the people who died. And we would like all of this to happen in the course of 2024, because this happened 6 years ago, and the pain and suffering has been going on for too long.
Spoor says the latest development is a game changer in food safety, referencing the current cases linked to pesticides found in snacks sold at some spaza shops, which resulted in the deaths and hospitalization of children.
The problem of contaminated goods, it's really a question of when the next outbreak will happen. And really the major form of account is in the pockets of these corporations. So we really need a lot more litigation like this. We need to be driving this litigation. And unfortunately, the law changes slowly, regulation changes slowly. But I think the knowledge that companies will ultimately be held accountable goes a long way. But it's only when companies know that creating this sort of havoc, this death, this destruction is more costly than producing substandard products that are not safe for human consumption. Only then it changes.
Tiger Brand says it has product liability insurance cover which is appropriate for a group of its size, and coverage is subject to the terms and limits of the policy. Diabosito, SABC News, Johannesburg.